What is the right thing that law should be aspiring to accomplish? And we as a society have to be committed to that. Right now, I understand there's a lot of questions about what that means and what are our common norms. But once we lose our common norms, we've lost the rule of law completely. So it's going back to figuring out what those are. I'm going to quote Rosie. And this was her response to me when I asked her, what should courts do to protect it? She said, quote, they need to remain fearlessly independent, protective of rights, and ensure that the state is respectful of both. I couldn't think of a better answer than that one. That is really at the end what judges should do, but it's in the end of what every citizen should do, which is ensure that the courts are fearlessly independent, that we understand that our obligation is to protect the rights given to us under the Constitution. These are not just made-up rights. The Constitution is the structure of the norms that bind us as a society in America. But we also have to demand that all others respect both of these principles. That's what our function is, Bill.
That's so powerful. That's so powerful and so timely.
It is. It is, because and Rosie and I have been in this conversation for a while, and you can understand why, because there are some really deep thoughts about what that actually means. What does the word rule of law mean?
And that's the most fundamental point of what we do.
And a lot, one of the things that's troubling so many right now is many of the standards that are being changed right now were norms that governed officials into what was right and wrong. Once norms are broken, then you're shaking some of the foundation of the rule of law.
Is there any way to reestablish norms after they're broken?
Well, in the end, I think some of my colleagues, like Neil Gorsuch, and he talks about democracy being messy, we're going to have to go back to reminding people what the fundamentals of their obligation as citizens is, and their obligation to monitor their public representatives.